Welcome to the Tattooed Truth Podcast with Anna Love, a space for embodied conversations for soul-led rebels. I'm your host, Anna Love, intuitive empowerment coach, subconscious healing guide, and no stranger to burning it all down to rise in truth. Here we dive deep into identity, healing, personal power, and what it really takes to lead a soul-aligned life. You'll hear unfiltered insights, real stories, and live coaching sessions with bold callers ready to break free and embody their next level. This is your invitation to reclaim your voice, rewire your patterns, and rise fully expressed. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Tattooed Truth Podcast. I am your host, Anna Love, and I am so thrilled to be here with you today. So, if you're listening to this podcast, you've likely done a lot of inner work. You've read all the books, you've attended a bazillion workshops, maybe retreats, you've listened to a bunch of podcasts, you've reflected, you've journaled, and you may have even shifted a lot in your life. You may be looking back on your life going, oh my gosh, I've changed so much from this year to last year, from this month to last month, even from this week to last week. I find myself saying that to myself a lot, noticing my gains, noticing my patterns, my habits, noticing how my nervous system feels more regulated than ever before. And even after all of that, there may be a quiet moment when you ask yourself, is this where it stops? Are we there yet? Am I done? Right? Like I've had clients ask me, when does it end? When am I there? And my answer is always, you are never done until you're dead. There's no actual peak. And if you do get to a certain peak, there's going to be another one after that. So today's episode is all about what comes next. And when freedom isn't just something that you understand, but it's something that you begin to live. I love talking about freedom, and what that looks like is going to be different for each of us. And I'll talk about a lot of the things on this podcast are either about my clients' healing or something that I've gone through of my own. The season after insight. Okay, so let's talk about the journey that we go through. Now, there's a season of healing that's about awareness, naming patterns, understanding your nervous system, releasing what was never yours. And that season matters. That is where you eventually realize that you are enough as you are. You can know exactly why you do what you do. And sometimes, even though you know why you do what you do, you still do what you do. You still find yourself repeating the same dynamics, whether they're in relationships or maybe it's in leadership at work, or maybe it's just being visible. Maybe it's how you use your voice. Maybe it's how you communicate with your loved ones. And that's because freedom doesn't come from more information. It doesn't come from reading more and more books and attending more and more workshops. It comes from the integration and the recalibration. And this is about how are you living differently in your body. It's not just about changing your mind and changing your mindset. And mindset is really important. It's one of the three things that needs to shift. Okay, but mindset isn't all of it on its own, but it's how you integrate it. How are you being? How do you feel inside your body? Now, once you master that and you have a mind and body connection, then you are linking the two up, and there's only one more piece missing, and that is the spirit, the soul. So it's mind, body, soul connection. So, you know, going through these transitions does take time, and awareness is the first step. And I always call it, I like to say that you are sleepwalking, and then one day you've woken up. It's like you're sleepwalking through life. Maybe you're in a fog, maybe you're confused, maybe you're dazed a little bit, or maybe you're none of those things, but you are living a life where you're not fully aware of all of the facets of life, all of the different frequencies you can be living on, all of the different perspectives that are taking place inside of you and around you. So once you become aware, let's call it a threshold, you've passed that threshold. Now you are on the way of being able to embody that awareness and start shifting from the inside out. What living the work actually looks like, it doesn't have to be dramatic, right? It's very subtle. Many times people may not even realize that you feel differently inside. Like you could be completely different, right? For me, it was a nervous system regulation. And for many years, I know that I was around people and I was maybe a certain way, a little bit jumpy, jittery, a little bit wired, a little bit just going high speed. And when things would come in, and I was basically dysregulated all of the time. And then when things would come in, events would happen, I would not be able to hold it. I would break down. I would get mad. I would try to sabotage. I would try to avoid. I would try to distract. I wouldn't be able to fully integrate. My nervous system would not regulate. And that went on for most of my life. So, where I'm at now, and this is a big transition for me, and it just feels so good to be here. But again, it's not like I'm at the end point. I'm not like, oh, I'm here, I'm done now. But what it feels like is so different, and I can choose to pause before I over explain things. I can choose to rest without guilt, right? I can trust myself without having to outsource what other people are thinking and what other people feel, right? Because before I was constantly looking at other people and trying to discern, is this okay? Is this all right? Is it safe? And now I don't do that. So when I take my energy and use it for me and put it into me in that regulation of my nervous system, everything shifts, not only inside of me, but around me as well, with the people around me. And then things seem to be just more ease, more freedom. Freedom is not what I call a breakthrough moment, but it's the absence of bracing. It's the absence of panic. It's the absence of worry. It's the absence of fear. It's the absence of stress. It's when your nervous system no longer treats life like you're in survival. This was huge for me. And this is why I think it's so important to talk about on this podcast is that for years and years, I was living in survival and not even realizing it. I thought that was what everybody else was doing. And I would look around at other people and try to assess, like, is their lives as hard as mine? Why is my life so hard? And that's what I had truly thought is that poor me, this is the way it is for me. It must be the way it is for everybody. And I didn't even realize that there was a different way. Now, if you're resonating with this, let's continue on because there is such growth to be had. If you're in a place where you're saying, look, I'm not even aware, I'm still sleepwalking, or I'm aware, but I can't seem to regulate my nervous system, this is why this podcast is for you, because I'm going to tell you how to do it. When your nervous system no longer treats life as something to survive and starts experiencing it as something to participate in, this is where your identity shifts, not through force, but through safety. And that feels so good to say because I'm actually truly living it now. So, what's important about this is when I work with women in a one-to-one container, I'm able to take an assessment of where are you at? Where are you on in your journey? What needs to happen next in order for you to shift? Are you at the beginning of your healing or are you in the middle? And like I said, there is no real end, but I can figure out pretty quickly through a discovery call with you what's going on and what is preventing you from becoming the most amazing, authentic version of you. What is it that's in your way? And it's not about fixing. A lot of people like to say, oh, I'm broken, just fix me. It's not about that at all. I like to say that you're not broken, that you have everything you need inside of you already. It's about walking beside you as your system learns a new baseline, one that's rooted in calm power, clarity, self-trust, and we move slowly. And I'm trained in trauma and being able to move slowly enough for your body to follow, moving honestly enough that you trust yourself, and precisely enough for real change to take hold. So it's moving at small increments. And sometimes I like to say that we collapse timelines when we do some of the processes that I work in. And that doesn't mean that we're not moving slowly. It does regulate your nervous system. You can still feel regulated as we collapse timelines. It just means that you've had this amazing awakening and it's not going to take a year. Literally, something can shift in a conversation. We don't have to do hours and hours of digging into your past. This is very targeted, and the tools that I use are there to regulate your nervous system as we are shedding layers that no longer serve you, beliefs that no longer work, that no longer make sense because you're not a child anymore, you're not a teenager anymore. Things and patterns that you created as a child to protect yourself are shed and let go in an instant, like literally in the snap of a finger. So I would start by poking around with books and podcasts and workshops, and even this podcast. Listen to all the episodes leading up to this and ask yourself if there's room for growth, if you are ready to create a new identity. And when you create a new identity, what that looks like doesn't mean that you're not you anymore. It just means that there is a deeper side to you that hasn't been able to come forth. It hasn't felt safe enough. It's that younger version of you that's been hiding. It's been trying to stay out of the light because it feels that it's not allowed to. It feels that it's not safe to. So we work with your inner child, we work with your protector parts, we work with the what I call the ego parts that are keeping you safe, and then we strengthen the parts of you, the self energy. The self energy is inside all of us, it was given to us at birth. It's the parts of us that have that innate confidence and that courage and that love and that trust and that knowing and that intuition. That's already inside of us. And we're not here to fix us. Like I said, we're not broken, but we are here to tap into the resources that already are us. We are the light. We are everything that we're looking for outside of us, that we've been searching for our whole life, is actually inside of us now. So if you are ready to be supported in living this work, not just understanding it, please reach out for my one-to-one containers. And if something inside this episode feels good to you, this is the time. This is an indication that it's the time, and we can jump on a discovery call. So, yeah, I just have an honest communication about what it is that I do and if this is the right support for you at this time. And I just want to close with saying, when you're ready, I'm here. And until next time, lead with truth, move with presence, and trust the version of you that already knows. Thank you. Take care. Thanks for tuning in to the Tattooed Truth podcast. If this episode lit something up in you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, leave a review, and make sure you're subscribed so you never miss a truth bomb. If you're craving deeper support, guided healing, or a space to reclaim your voice and power, check the show notes for ways to work with me. Remember, your truth is not too loud, too bold, or too much. It's exactly what this world needs. Keep showing up, stay wild, stay true. I'll see you next time.